Okay, folks, this one hits home, so let's be honest. When most people picture owning raw land, they imagine sunrises, silence, and maybe some chickens. No one's thinking about plumbing. But here's the thing: water is the very first question raw land asks you, and it asks very loudly. Before you sign anything, before you plant your garden, before you name your property something charming, you need to know how you're going to get water to it. So, today on Ancestry Lands, we're going to walk through every realistic option for off grid water on raw land, what each one costs, what can go wrong, and which setup actually fits your situation. No engineering degree needed, just straight talk and facts. So, let's dig in. Now, the first question you should ask that changes everything before we get into option is what's the water actually for? Because the answer to that question changes everything. Are you visiting on weekends? Are you building a cabin? Or are you going to pay your home? Are you going to live there full time? You're going to have animals. The whole thing, think of it this way: water for a weekend camping is like a bicycle, it gets you where you want to go just fine. Water for full time living, you need a lot more capacity, more reliability, and you definitely can't haul your life in 10 speed. Knowing your answer up front saves you from buying the wrong system and for some very unpleasant surprises down the road. The water menu, your five main options, and there are five out there that you can get on raw land, and the most real setups to use are here are one of them. One, you can haul it yourself, or having it delivered, or collecting rainwater if allowed, or using surface water like a creek or a spring. Drilling a well, and now let's go through each one. Option one is you bring it yourself hauling the water. It's the simplest place to start, and there's no shame in it. You bring the water on a truck or container or trailer tank, and you store it on site. It works well if you're not living there full time yet. You're still trying to figure out the land, or if you need something low commitment while you plan bigger. The catch: water is really heavy. 1 gallon weighs about 8 pounds, so 100 gallons, well, do the math. And that's rough access, road plus loaded truck, and a recipe for a very bad Tuesday. Hauling water can absolutely work, but don't kid yourself. That's not just effortless. It's a starter system, not a forever plan. Option two, have it delivered to you. In some areas, you can hire a company to come fill a large storage water on your property, like you have a tank. It's like hauling water, but someone else does it for you. And delivery service exists near your land. It's a solid option for part time setups while you're building. You can get more volume at once and not wearing out your own truck. The big mistake here is assuming delivery is available without checking first. Always confirm before you buy land if that's an area where you have to do that for, because probably there's a service out there somewhere and it's not a water plant. We want to make sure we plan well, not wish, because wishes don't fill fish tanks. Now, number three, rainwater catchment. Rainwater gets underestimated a lot. It's one of the best options for gardens, and it can supplement your water needs in a big way, especially if you're building a structure with a roof. Now, again, some roofs are not good for doing that, but when the rain falls on your roof, runs into gutters, and goes through a filter, it collects into a tank or a barrel. Simple in theory and genuinely works, but it's a big but. Rainwater's seasonal, it's not a constant supply. Think of it as a savings account like that Bitcoin going into a bank. When the rain comes, you deposit into a dry stretch, you're drawing down. A good well is your paycheck. You want both. And if you're planning to drink that rainwater inside the house, you'll need proper filtration, and you need to follow your local regulations for people who live in states that it's illegal to catch rainwater. I don't even understand that, but okay. Don't DIY your way into something unpleasant. Rain barrels are great, bacteria is not. So, number four, surface option or surface water. A property with a creek or a spring sounds like a dream, and sometimes it does, but sometimes a creek is just a very scenic disappointment by mid August. Surface water can be a great option for irrigation, livestock, and a backup supply, but only if it runs year round. A creek that looks beautiful in April can be completely dry by late summer, and especially if you're in drought years. Before you buy land based on a water feature, not buying land from ancestry lands, ask a hard question: does the creek run in August? What does it look like in a drought year? Is anyone upstream that can divert it? Surface water also picks up contamination, runoff from animals, or algae. So, does it need treatment before it's safe to drink? Don't let a pretty creek close a deal without you doing your homework first. Option five, a well. Well. It's the gold standard for full time off grid living and it's the most reliable long term source you can have. And that's not cheap. Drilling costs a lot, depending on your region and how deep you have to go. And on top of drilling, you're also paying for the pump, pressure tank, wire, solar to run it, trenching, plumbing. The list goes on. Here's the part people don't always talk about: drilling a well is a gamble. You might drill and not find enough water. You might find water that's high in iron, sulfur, and mineral levels that need treatment. And your neighborhood having a good well doesn't mean your land will be too. Groundwater changes across short distances, so before you buy, ask around what typical well depths are like in that area. What's the usual yield? Are there any known water quality issues? And a few conversations with locals or hydrogeologists can save you from a very expensive regret. Six things every water plan needs. No matter which options you choose, a solid water plan covers six things: source, storage, delivery, treatment, power, and backup. Most people only price the source, but not the storage, treatment, and backup, where the real costs live and most plans fall apart. If you're using land for weekends, haul the water in, right? Store it in portable tanks and add some barrels for a garden. Simple, effective, and easily done. If you're building a part time cabin, well, get a large storage tank, use delivered water if it's available, add a roof catchment, and run basic filtration. Now, if you're looking at full time options, you want a well, if the land supports it, and large storage for resilience. You need a water treatment system based on what your tests show, and a solid backup plan that includes rain catchment and the ability to haul if needed. So you need a power plan for your pump, solar generator, or both. One last thing: drought changes the math. Now we're in 2026, and drought isn't just a weather story anymore. It's a land buying reality. And lower well, recharge, dry creeks, water restrictions are becoming common, and more people move rural and pull the same resources. A water plan that only works in ideal conditions is not a plan, it's a hope. Build for dry years, and good years will take care of themselves. Off grid water on raw land isn't one decision, it's a system source: storage, delivery, treatment, power, and backup. Remember, those six pieces are get them right, and any property becomes workable. Skip them, and well, you'll end up regretting it and want to watch this video over again. If this helped you out, think through your land choice and get my book, which I'll show you in the next one, about how you can own land, and subscribe to Ancestry Lands. We break down the real practical stuff, not the fluff, so you can have land and build a property. Drop a comment below. What kind of land are you looking for? And have you visited my website to go check out the land we have? They actually have water on them and power as well. They're in local areas and cities, and you can own them today. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Now go own some land.
Most people don't need motivation, they need better information. Owning land, growing food, and becoming more self-reliant often sound complicated, mostly because they're rarely explained clearly. Ancestry Lands focuses on the practical side of independence by talking about what land ownership actually costs, what works in real backyards and small parcels. Because independence means getting freedom and security, and land just happens to do both. If you prefer planning over panic, subscribe to Ancestry Lands for information you can actually use.